For me, Pride is about living authentically in my queer identity. It's about amplifying the voices of LGBTQ plus people and content creators, moving representation forward. And it's about speaking up for those who are more marginalized than I am. It's about activism, but it's also about celebration. And for me, that could just mean rewatching Carol for the 27th time. I am proud to be a part of the LGBTQ plus community with all of you beautiful people. Now, live from Emily's living room, it's Hump Day with Hampshire.
It started as a cough or maybe a sneeze. Now here we are in quarantine. And if you act, dance, play or sing, chances are you're on the couch not doing a thing. So watch Hump Day with Hampshire. Have some fun before we retire. Take a little break from the quagmire. It's Hump Day with Hampshire.
Hi, and welcome to episode, oh boy, I just dropped everything. Welcome to episode 9 of Hump Day with Hampshire. So we took a little break because there's obviously more important things going on in the world right now than me singing about my snack cravings. And those things are still going on. That sounds like I'm saying my snack cravings are still going on, which they are, but that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about racial injustice is still going on. But there's been such an outpouring of activism and marches and petitions and protests and donations and sharing resources these past few weeks. And so many people are sharing so many ways to support Black Lives Matter and Black Trans Lives Matter. So while we are still raising money for the Actors Fund, I will be making donations to Black Lives Matter and Black Trans Lives Matter. I'm going to put some info about that on my Instagram in case you want to know more about it. And I know that donating is sometimes hard now, and that's only one of so many ways to support. I get that sometimes it's overwhelming and you feel unsure and kind of what can I do now? And I think that something that we can all do in quarantine. Am I the only one still in quarantine? I feel like no one else is in quarantine, but something that we can do in quarantine or not is to listen and to learn. Okay, for instance, when I was planning for this episode, somebody mentioned intersectionality, and I didn't know what that meant. And well, for FYI, for people who don't know what that means, intersectionality occurs when multiple forms of discrimination like sexism, racism, classism intersect, especially in the experience of marginalized people, like trans women of color. So I was like, does everyone know about this? Do people know this? Because it's so important. And then I started to think about all the things I didn't know. There was season 1 of Schitt's Creek. We did this episode where David explains his pansexuality to Stevie with this wine metaphor. And I, at the time, I didn't get it. I'd never heard the word pansexuality before. Never heard pansexual before. And then cut to 5 years later, people I saw on message boards and stuff, people were asking me if I'm a lesbian or if I'm bi or what am I? And I went to Dan and I was like, what am I? Because I don't feel like I don't feel like a lesbian. I don't feel straight. I don't feel bi. I just feel like I love a person, and it honestly doesn't matter to me where they are on the gender spectrum. And Dan's answer was, do you not watch our show? You're pan. So this is all to say that obviously I had a lot to learn then, and I still think I have a lot to learn. So originally we were planning for this to be our big Pride Bonanza special. I mean, it still is, obviously. But I think the great thing about Pride is that it's this time when people can share their stories and experiences loud and proud. And I mean, I could not dream of a better rainbow roster of guests that we have today to listen and learn from. So, but first, we can't do Pride without music, obviously. So I'm going to bring out Jeffrey. My hump heads, those are my 3 fans, will know that I like to bring Jeffrey out, who wrote the introduction song and performs it, my little Bitmojis song. I like to bring him out and give him song challenge to do during the episode. Jeffrey.
What's up, Emily? Hi.
Where's your beard?
Well, all the Jonathan Van Ness and Bobby Burke episodes, they inspired me to clean it up a little bit. So I know, true story, but it's still me. It's still me.
Okay, so you haven't been in quarantine so I am the only one.
I did get a little help from a professional, so yeah.
Okay, which means you were just touching people. Anyways, so okay. I am going to have you sing a song at the end of the show. I feel bad because normally I like to perform a song of my own to inspire you, but we have so many amazing guests to get to that, like, we don't have time, Jeffrey. We don't have time. We have to get on this. So you know the drill, okay? You're gonna watch very carefully the 90-minute episode. And then you're going to perform a song about everything that happens in this special 90-minute episode. All right. This is normally 30 minutes longer than our hour-ish episodes so it's like the movie Hump Day. It's like Hump Day the movie in 3D. Okay. Okay, Jeffrey. I'm going to lightly wash my hands of you. Okay. Be gone, Jeffrey.
Bye.
Okay. Now. I'm so nervous because, I'm a little nervous because I haven't done this in a while, but also I'm obsessed with all my guests on this show, but especially I'm such a huge fan of my next guest. She has broken so many barriers in the entertainment industry. She is the first trans woman of color to have a leading role on a major scripted show. She's the first openly transgender person on the cover of Time magazine. She's been nominated for a Primetime Emmy, won a Daytime Emmy, and she has a wax figure in Madame Tussauds Museum. So she's super talented, a singer, a dancer, an actress. Her new film, Disclosure, Trans Lives on Film, comes out on Netflix this Friday. You know her best as Sophia from Orange is the New Black. Laverne Cox.
Oh my God, hello. Oh, I'm full screen. Give me a second. Okay.
Oh, you look gorgeous.
Thank you. I couldn't do a full glam thing today. I just couldn't be bothered. So but I have my hairstylist Kaya right before quarantine. Interestingly enough, I asked her to wash and condition about 25 wigs. And I've worn this one once. So I've worn this one once in quarantine, and I danced around a lot of it.
I didn't know that's a wig. So
thank you.
Like a great wig.
Thank you.
Conditioned.
Can I say really quickly, I'm obsessed with your theme song. I had not heard it before. Jeffrey,
right?
I love your voice, Jeffrey. It's so amazing work.
At the end of the show, but also that was maybe the highlight of my career, that theme song. The second highlight of my career is probably you. You're like my dream guest, like up there with SpongeBob SquarePants for this show.
Why am I your dream guest? Tell me why.
Because I think, especially for this show, I think that Black trans women are a super vulnerable group, and I think you are such an inspiration to so many people. I mean, aside from all of that, I just think you're awesome, and you're hot and everything. But I just think you have so much to offer and to say to people that I think the world could use now.
Thank you.
That's why. I mean, I could go on forever.
That's really sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But also I feel like, so in my intro, I mentioned intersectionality, and I didn't know about it, which I'm embarrassed to admit. But I feel like you can speak to that obviously a zillion times better than I can. So
intersectionality, it's funny. I've been talking about intersectionality for a really long time. And it really just as you said, it means being at the intersection of multiple identities, potentially multiple oppressions. Most of us have intersectional identities, right? I'm Black, I'm trans, I'm a woman, but I'm also from the South, and I'm an actress. And so identity is like, I'm American, you know. I'm still quarantining like you. I've like not left the house in a week and a half. I'm like, okay. So we all sit at the intersections of multiple identities, and when those identities are marginalized, like being a person of color or being trans, then you're at the intersections of multiple oppressions. And so it's not that I experience just racism. I experience sexism. I also experience transphobia, and the double, triple binds of those intersections can create really uniquely specific challenges. One thing I would love to say about intersectionality is that the woman who coined the term intersectionality is a woman named Kimberly Crenshaw. She is a Black woman, feminist, lawyer, and she at the time, the concept of intersectionality existed basically when Black feminism sort of came into being, when just Sojourner Truth in 1851, I think, said, "Ain't I a woman?" She was talking about being at the intersection of being Black and a woman when both her Blackness and her womanhood were being denied. So what Kimberly Crenshaw observed, particularly in some of the legal cases that inspired her to come up with the term intersectional, is that particularly Anita Hill and women like her were not just experiencing sexism and not just experiencing racism, but the specific way that Black women experienced racism and sexism with its own unique thing, right? So that we needed a new word to help us understand that specific way. She said that there's a woman named Polly Murray, woman because Polly Murray may have been trans, but Polly Murray, I just found out about Polly Murray like a year ago. Polly Murray was a lawyer and then an Episcopal minister who wrote what Thurgood Marshall calls the Bible for Brown versus Board of Education. And Polly Murray was assigned female at birth, African American, went to Howard University, and for their dissertation wrote what Thurgood Marshall called the Bible for Brown versus Board of Education, which is basically the Bible for the civil rights movement.
Oh my God.
And Kimberly Crenshaw said that she came up with the idea of intersectionality from Polly Murray, someone who struggled with their identity as being attracted to other women, and then also back in the 1950s had written to different doctors about potentially transitioning to become a man. Polly Murray, who a lot of people don't know about, someone who had transgender thoughts at the very least, had attraction to other women, and they were assigned female at birth, wrote the Bible for Brown versus Board of Education and came up with the idea for intersectionality. She called Jim Crow Jane Crow. Basically that Black women, again, experienced racism in a very different way from Black men. I just went off. Yeah.
Fascinating though. Like, I don't think most people know about it. I never heard of her. And I think that's so fascinating that, like, at that time also, was she openly trans?
No. And this is only something we found out. There's a new book called Jane Crow about Polly Murray where we finally found all the letters that Polly wrote during their lifetime when they wrote letters to doctors about getting access to hormone therapy, and then sort of the notes about how Polly struggled with their sexuality. It's something that we didn't know until just a few years ago.
Oh my God, I want to read that.
Interesting, amazing, fascinating. Jane Crow is the book, and it's riveting. So we can't say trans the way we say it now, but what we do know is that Polly had thoughts about at least taking testosterone at the very least, and certainly was attracted to women and struggled with that.
Oh my God. I feel like this has obviously been a difficult time, but I am a silver linings person, and I feel like there's so much good that has come out of this in terms of like we're hearing names we didn't know about that we should know about.
Yeah.
Also, so I usually like to play a game on my show, but then you brought up something that I thought would be so amazing to do on the show, and you haven't done it yet, which is real bad.
Okay.
You can fill out your census.
Yes, thank you so much. And I was going to do it a few weeks ago, and then I was told that today is National Census Day.
Oh, it is.
June 17th, it is National Census Day, so I was planning to fill out my census anyway. So if anyone wants to join us, we're live. Yes, people are watching us now.
Yes.
We are live and in color. So if you go to my2020census.gov, my2020census.gov, let me know when you're there.
Okay.
And we can do it together.
Oh, wait, my turn. Okay. My
2020, and the number 2020, census.gov.
2020 census.gov. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm here.
Gorgeous. Okay, cool. So I haven't done this yet, but I'm assuming start questionnaire. So I'm clicking start questionnaire. Do you see start questionnaire?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
Oh my God.
Where can I find my 12-digit census ID? I don't know. These materials we mailed to you or left at your door. All the information that you provide will remain confidential. So there has to be another way. I don't have that right now. We may not be able to do this right now. I have to find the thing that do you have the thing that they mailed to you? There has to be another way. I do not have a census ID. Click here. Let's see.
Oh. Let's see. I mean, I have the thing that, okay.
In order to collect your address, we first need to know where you were living on April 1st, 2020. Please select where you were living on April 1st, 2020. I think maybe they're going to retrieve our ID for us. I don't know. U.S. state or District of Columbia. Yes. So I'm going to put next. And then, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Where were you living on April 1st, 2020? Okay. Please provide a complete street address for your residence. Provide the street address you would use to have a package delivered directly to your residence, not a rural route or P.O. box address used for mailing purposes. A street address is the most helpful. Okay, I'm not going to say my address out loud.
Oh. That was why I wanted to do the census. I wanted to get your street address. Okay, I did fill out the thingy. I filled it out, and I think I have it. Here. I have it here. And so I filled mine out online, but
cool.
I noticed because you were coming on the show and said you wanted to fill out your census, I never thought of my census in any other way than as actually that's not true. I was gonna say like as a white cis female, but then it's like I've suddenly seen it change into you can put same-sex husband, wife, spouse, or like there's been updates and stuff.
Wait, that's it. Wait, same-sex wife. Hold up. This is news to me. If you can actually claim a same-sex partner on the census.
Yes, that's new right here. Same-sex. This is very new, which I thought was great. However,
but only if you have a partner.
Partner?
But only if you have a partner. Is that what it is?
Oh yes, or same-sex unmarried partner.
Oh, in terms of who you live with, or like your romantic partner.
How is the person related to?
Well, what's gagging me about this is that in 2016, I went to Washington, D.C. to help amplify the LGBTQ Data Inclusion Act, which was a bill that it introduced in 2016 that didn't really go anywhere in Congress, that would add LGBTQ folks to the 2020 census. That bill never went anywhere, and then there was a concerted effort from this current administration to not have trans people and gay and lesbian people counted in the census. And so I'm seeing this, and I'm shook.
Well, but they aren't, because in terms of gender, there are two boxes. there is a male box and a female box. And that was what really surprised me. And then someone told me, actually our producer of this show told me, because I was like, there's no other, like, what about non-binary? What about like, this is the census, you know, like how you identify, I think is important. And he said that there is a hack online that when you go into gender, if you keep pushing the thing, trans will come up. I don't know if that's true.
Oh.
It's crazy that you have to use a hack to put how you identify.
Well, this is all news to me. I did not know this. This is actually kind of encouraging that you can hack in and like put trans somehow.
Well, I mean, that's sad that that's encouraging, though. I think we can go.
Well, no, because we fought. I mean, and I think data is so important. The census is so important. I'm going to continue filling out. What is your name and telephone number? So the census is so important because if you are not counted, you can be discounted. How we allocate funds then for over the next 10 years is going to depend on this census data that we're filling out right now. And if there's an undercount, a lot of people are going to be left out of the equation, right? And not really be represented. How resources are allocated, how our congressional districts are drawn are going to be based on this census, on who we elect to state legislatures this year. So the census is really, really, really important around having justice for everybody, justice for all.
Yeah, and this kind of really says it, that the only people counted in this are cis male and cis female. Those are your options, at least on this. So, so that means you're discounted when it comes to all those state legislation. So, I mean, I didn't know about that. I'm so glad you brought that to my attention, just even doing the census.
And this is why elections have consequences. If we had had a different president and a different administration, perhaps there wouldn't have been a concerted effort. We may have been able to get questions about being gender, transgender status, and being LGBTQI plus onto this census. But this administration quashed it and wanted nothing to do with counting us. And again, when you don't count us, then we don't have access to resources. We don't actually, all the numbers that we have about the number of transgender people who exist in the United States are guesstimations from the Williams Institute. So they've taken various different surveys from different states and made a guesstimation. We don't actually know because we don't have the census data.
Yeah. This is huge. You know what's great? My next guest is Sarah Kate Ellis, who is the president of CEO. I'm gonna ask some things that we can maybe do about this. I wish I could fill out the census with you all day and talk to you all day, but I have to. I'm getting little things like that. I have to go, but before
it's all good. But we started it, and I'm probably going to continue it on Instagram Live. So if people want to come and join it, they should continue watching your show. But then I'm going to go. I'm going to go on Instagram Live and continue to fill out my census. This has been glorious meeting you this way.
I could have had so much. I have so many more questions. I have 3 pages of questions for you. It's really embarrassing. But before you go, I want to give you on this show, I usually give people their quarantine nickname, but now I'm doing the quarantine nickname, which is your emotional state, your current emotional state, and the last thing you ate. So, for example, mine would be like obsessed salami.
My current emotional state, serene bacon.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Serene bacon. Literally, I was eating the bacon before we started.
Oh, that's good. That looks like good bacon.
It's good. It's really good.
Laverne, I wash my hands of you. This is because I wash my hands to get to the next, so I don't spread.
I have hand sanitizer too, so hey.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
This was glorious.
Who is the casting director who cast you in the show and is a friend of mine. And I was like, please. So thank you.
My pleasure. You are delightful. Have a wonderful rest of show. And we'll talk soon, hopefully.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, darling.
Oh my goodness. We're going to go to a PSA.
Hi, my name is Roxy Wood, and Pride to me is about love, respect, family, support, unity, celebration, and coming together.
Okay, so it is surprising to me how many people don't know what GLAAD stands for. So I tell them that GLAAD stands for gay, lesbian, and then I Google it for them. So GLAAD stands for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. And my next guest is the president and CEO of GLAAD. And when she speaks, everybody listens because she is so insanely smart and captivating. And okay, here, like, this is just proof of this. There is this picture of me that was taken listening to her speak. This is me listening to Sarah Kate Ellis speak. I look like I've seen the light. And now you are all going to see the light. Sarah Kate Ellis.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Yay.
Thank you for being on my show.
Oh, thanks for having me. I guess I can lower this a little.
A
lot of light here.
I am always so captivated by when you speak. I actually I find that you make me understand things that I understand with my heart, but I sometimes need help understanding the kind of the legislations behind it or those kinds of things that I find complicated, but you make me understand it. And anyways, I wanted to ask you how you do that. How are you such a good communicator?
Well, I appreciate, that's a beautiful compliment. So thank you so much. And thank you for having me on your show. I'm just delighted to be here. And of course, right after our national treasure, Laverne Cox. Yeah, she's amazing.
I'm still a little nervous. Okay.
She always makes me nervous too.
Okay.
You know, I think my job is to let the community and our allies know what's happening. For or against our community, good or bad. So it's really my job. That's my job, is to make sure that we know what's happening and we're fighting back, we're mobilizing, or we're celebrating. This week actually could be a celebration after a really horrible week last week. So, you know, it ebbs and flows, and I feel like I need to be able to communicate that to the community and our allies quickly and get the point across of what does this mean? What does this mean in real time? What does this mean to your life?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. You just articulated it perfectly. And we do have a huge thing to celebrate this week, that for the Supreme Court that made that I'm all lost because I'm nervous. But
well, that was, you know, so the Supreme Court ruling is a really fascinating one. It literally took us by surprise. I had no idea that we all sit around and say, what do you think? How's it going to go? Whenever I'm anywhere, somebody asks me because they think I have an inside line to Ruth Bader, which I don't. But and no one knows how they're going to rule. But we can sense, based on culture, based on what's going on in the world, based on the current administration, where the culture is. And based on the Trump administration having said that they were opposed to covering LGBTQ people under sex discrimination. So basically what happened was something kind of beautiful in this week, which was Title VII, which is, I think, in 1965 Civil Rights Act, says that you cannot discriminate based on sex. And so how do you interpret sex was the conversation. And basically there were 3 court cases that had made it all the way to the Supreme Court. And one of the women was a trans woman, Amy Stevenson, who passed away in May. And the idea was, can you actually fire someone simply for being LGBTQ? And so before Monday, when the ruling came out, in nearly half the states in the United States, you can be fired. simply for being LGBTQ. And we know many people who are fired simply for showing up at work as LGBTQ. So in a lot of states, you could get married on Saturday and show up to work on Monday. You can marry your same-sex partner on Saturday and show up to Monday and get fired. That changed on Monday at the federal level. So this is at the level of marriage equality, if not greater in a way. Marriage equality is exciting and interesting because it's love and everybody loves stories. But this is about a fundamental American right of working without discrimination.
Yeah, but so just the week before, though, there was a bad thing that happened that they took the health benefits and rights away from trans people. And what I got, a friend of mine asked this great question, and I wanted to ask it to you, is like, what can we do? Like, because, you know, sometimes like we'll get 1 week trans people have no health care, and the next week this happens. So what can we do to make sure that going forward in a new administration coming up, that we don't go backwards, that we continue? Like, is there anything we can do to make sure of that?
Get people to the polls and make sure they vote on November 3rd. We are pointing so much of our energy against November 3rd at this point, because all else really rides on that in this stage. There's nothing that we can do right this second. I mean, a few of the organizations are suing the Trump administration. That's years of litigation around the removal. So basically what happened on Friday, last week was a terrible week, actually. Yeah. 2 trans women of color were found murdered. And on that Friday, the Trump administration removed protections out of the Affordable Health Care Act for the trans community. So basically, the reversal of what happened on Monday happened on Friday. Yeah. If you are trans, a doctor, a medical provider, such as the hospital, and healthcare insurance can discriminate against you simply for being transgender in this country. And so it really is important to vote. It's important to educate people, especially our allies. I find that our allies are always willing to step up. They just don't know half the time. So using your platform to educate them is critical.
Yeah, which that's what I feel like you do. You do that for me on Instagram, everything. And I learn from your Instagram. But so at the beginning, I was mentioning my kind of, I guess, coming out story-ish, but I feel like coming out is usually like a really long process for people. So I thought on this show, people could do like their coming out story in 30 seconds. Would you do your coming, like, for example, mine would be like, I like this person. And then I said, then people had an opinion on it. And they were like, is Stevie a lesbian? Is Emily bi? Who's Emily? And then I was like, Dan, what am I? And Dan was like, you're pan. And I was like, I'm pan. Sexual.
That was a beautiful coming out story. Okay. I think mine is, I was in the car with my dad. He asked me if I was gay. I said, yes. He said, oh, you're going to have to tell your mother that. So we went home. I told my mother. She cried. This was in June. Then in December, I asked if I could invite my girlfriend to the holidays. She said, why do you keep bringing this up? And then we didn't talk about it for another year. And now she's a happy grandmother of 2 of my children, and I'm married.
I love 30-second coming out. Better than life coming out. Oh. Thank you so much. Before I let you go, I need to give you your quarantine nickname. And your quarantine nickname is, it used to be quarantine, now it's quarantine, is the emotion you're feeling right now plus the last thing you ate.
I am feeling happy right now. Happy mozzarella.
Oh, I love happy mozzarella.
I'm a happy mozzarella.
Thank you. I wash my hands of you, Sarah Kate.
Yes. I'm on it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Oh my God, this is really difficult because we have a million people in this show that I want to get to, and I have a million questions for each guest. Like Sarah Kate, I had like this many questions. Look at all these. When we were in the writer's room for this show, my co-writer Neela was like, Emily, you need to decide. You're like a kid at Christmas. You're asking for too many presents, and with all these questions for Sarah Kate. And so I made a list. I didn't even get to ask it because they're like, you gotta go to the next guest, but my next guest is so exciting. Okay, I'm gonna go to a thingy.
Pride means happiness and equality, and you know how much I believe in it? 100%.
Love is love, and you can be who you are.
Pride to me means believing in yourself and knowing who you are is okay.
Oh my God, that kid's so cute. We'd asked some people to ask their kids what pride is, and that there was so many amazing ones. We don't have enough time to put them all on the show, but I'm going to make sure that every one of them goes at least on my Instagram because they're adorable. My next guest, I would say, ladies, start your engines and may the best woman win in the style of RuPaul. I was supposed to say, oh my God, this is difficult. I was supposed to say that in the style of RuPaul, like not read in the style of RuPaul. I guess I'm not a very good drag queen judge. But my next guest is, she is a former ballet dancer with the Cape Town City Ballet and Les Ballets Trocadero de Monte Carlo. That is really hard to say, let alone do. She was the runner-up on the 11th season of RuPaul's Drag Race and is now a judge on Canada's Drag Race. It's Brooklyn Heights.
Hi.
You're Canadian. I'm Canadian. Where do you live?
We're Canadian. I live in LA now.
Oh, what street did you live on in Canada?
I lived on 45 Meadowbank Road, and in Etobicoke, I also lived on Jarvis Street, was the last street I lived on in Canada.
I know Jarvis from Toronto.
Where do you live? Where did you live?
I lived in Toronto. I lived on College Street.
Uh-huh.
And I lived at Queen and Sherbourne once, which is a very serious area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are the Canadian snacks that you can't have here that you miss the most? Like mine are like coffee crisp, ketchup chips, May West.
Ketchup chips, coffee crisp, Big Turk.
Ooh, Big Turk is Canadian?
I think Big Turk I cannot find them here. Big Turk is Canadian, and that is my number one favorite chocolate bar. And every time I go to a show in Canada, I said it once in an interview, and I literally get 10 a show now.
Like God, that's why I'm saying this here. Coffee crisp. Maybe
exactly. The number one thing, though, is all dressed chips.
They don't have those here either?
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong?
Do you know that do you remember when Lay's was doing all those crazy flavors?
Yeah.
I came out with a Swiss Chalet sauce flavored Lay's chip. And Swiss Chalet is my number one all-time favorite food.
I have that for like when I have Christmas dinner. Swiss Chalet does this special, and it puts a little Toblerone on it.
Special.
Yeah. The Swiss. Oh God, I missed that. So, but okay, how did you come up with your drag name?
Well, I didn't actually come up with it. My drag mother came up with it. Her name is Fahrenheit, and she's a very big drag queen in Toronto. She's a very well-known queen. She's been on the queen of the scene for over a decade.
I know who she is.
Yeah. You know Fahrenheit.
Other people might not.
Yeah. So her name is Fahrenheit. So she wanted to adopt me, and she was trying to think of a name that went with the whole like Heights family thing. And so she came up with Brooklyn Heights.
Oh, is there like a formula though? Like your porn name is usually like the street you grew up on, and your first pet. So there's no formula for drag name. Like you just have to have a drag mother.
Well, your drag name can be whatever you want to be. I mean,
give me a drag name.
Like before I was Brooklyn Heights, my drag name was like Carmen, and then I changed it to Bianca. Like I had really shitty drag names, and I was like, okay, I need a better drag name. And then she adopted me, and she kind of gave me this amazing drag name, and it made me kind of part of the House of Heights. So,
but you're me my drag name, please.
Can you, what, you want a drag name?
Yes, from you.
Okay. Your drag name is Harlem Heights.
Harlow Heights?
Yes.
That's good. You just came up with that just like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're good. Oh, so I know you've been doing like press all day today, right?
Yes, we have.
And so have you done it from your house?
Yes, literally. I'm literally sitting in my drag room, in my makeup room, just talking to people on my computer. This is what we do now. It's crazy.
I think it's amazing. I am one of the rare type of people who thrive in quarantine. And so if I was having to do press right now, I would do it from bed. I would. Yeah. But your background is really great. It's like you're in a photo studio. It looks good.
It's just a sheet. This is actually natural lighting coming in from my window, believe it or not. Yeah, this is like, natural lighting is honestly the best lighting.
Oh, mine's natural lighting, but I don't. I'm also on a 12-year-old MacBook Air, but I do that for the blurriness.
Oh yes, we love a filter.
Yes. Okay, I want to ask you just a few like random things.
Okay.
What is your first Pride memory?
My first Pride memory was when I was 18, and actually I came out to my parents at Pride.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like my first kind of Pride memory. And
wait, that's perfect because I'm having people come out in 30 seconds because coming out's usually a longer process. So I feel like it could be maybe like cathartic to come out in 30 seconds.
Okay. Basically, super gay my whole life. Everybody knew. And then I came out at 18 and my mom cried and I was like, why are you surprised? And I was like, I was gay. Look at me. You've known me my entire life. And then she told my dad, and my dad got me in the car for like an hour and was driving and was like, so can you tell me about your sexual orientation? And I was like, ew, this is awkward. I'm gay, obviously. And he was like, okay, well, we still love you. We just don't agree with your lifestyle choices. And then it was fine. And now they support me.
Oh my God. I feel like I love 30-second coming out. I've just realized how much
It's amazing. It's so concise. And like, you're like, yes, I get that. I know that person.
Totally get that. Totally get your dad's voice.
Yeah.
Totally get everything. I am so grateful that you came on the show. I'm
a very big fan of yours.
Oh, thank you. I don't understand why I can't be on a drag judge. Like
honey, you will be. Don't worry. Oh, I have a list of people that I want for season 2, and you are on that list. So
okay.
We have a mutual friend, Lucky. Lucky did my makeup for the show.
Oh my God, that's what she said to me. So Lucky does she's our Schitt's Creek makeup artist.
Yeah.
And wait, Lucky did your makeup today?
No. She didn't do my makeup today, but she was my like makeup person on the show who would help me like touch up my makeup and.
She's the best. I wanted to have her on this show to do some like instructional videos.
Oh, you should.
I know. It's just like we don't have quarantine needs to go on for way longer and everyone's already out of it. Anyways, they're telling me I have to wrap it up, but I'm so grateful for you to come on. I'm going to, before I wash my hands of you, I'm going to give you your quarantine nickname.
Okay.
Quarantine nickname is made by the emotion you're feeling right now plus the last thing you ate.
Okay, my quarantine nickname is Tired Peanut Butter Filled Pretzels.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
I feel like that sounds like an old stripper. You know that old stripper at the strip club? Please welcome to the stage, Tired Peanut Butter Filled
Pretzel.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Tired Peanut Butter Filled Pretzel. I'm washing my hands of you. I'm going to be washing my hands a lot on the show. Thank you so much. And you look gorgeous.
Thank you. I love you. And we need to hang out when this is all over.
Yes, please.
Okay. I love you.
Bye. Thank you.
So I told my partner at the time, hey, guess what? I like to wear women's clothes in bed. And then I was like, hey, guess what? I like to wear women's clothes all the time when I'm at home. And then I said, hey, guess what? I'm going to get laser hair removal. And then, hey, guess what? I'm going to start HRT. And then I told everyone, hey, guess what? I'm trans.
Wait, what is that saying? Okay, so oh God, I have so many fun people on the show this week. This is crazy. This is like a pride marathon of my dreams. Okay, so I definitely need more hours. The next lady is one of the funniest comedians, and she's won an award for her humanitarian efforts on behalf of women, Asian Americans, and the LGBTQ plus community. She is a stand-up comedian, an actress, a fashion designer, a singer-songwriter, an author. Oh my God. I feel like I do nothing. And she does all of that and still has time to get like a zillion tattoos, like all over her body. Here's Margaret Cho.
Thank you. Hi.
Oh, so nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you. I'm a really, really big fan, and this is great.
It's really nice. You must have experienced this. It's really nice when someone you're a fan of says they're a fan of yours. It's really like there's a special place for that. So
it is. It's great. It's great. It's really great.
I know that you have a zillion tattoos, and I'm wondering, what's your gayest tattoo?
Oh, the gayest one I have is probably I have these ones on my kneecaps. It's Washington and Lincoln from the $1 bill and the $5 bill, because it costs $6 to spread them.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if that's gay, but it's very cheap. So I can't raise the price. That's very slutty. It's dumb.
No.
I don't know what do you have on the Canadian money?
We have our dollar is called the loonie because there's a loon on it.
So you maybe have loons on the kneecaps if you got this Canadian equivalent.
Also,
they've
made our Canadian money smell like maple syrup. I'm not making this up.
Really?
If you smell a $50 bill, which you should not do, that's probably how Corona was spread mostly.
Yes, that's probably, I don't think I've ever gotten Canadian money because I've, of course, been to Canada many times, but I'm never there long enough to get Canadian money. I'm only there. I usually just
nobody wants Canadian money.
Well, I just make Scott Thompson buy me things. If I'm there, I'm usually making Scott buy me things, or maybe hopefully I'm there doing something with the kids in the hall, and I'll make one of them.
I love them. I love the kids in the hall.
I only knew Kevin and then Scott. Well, Kevin, I would probably see in America more, but in Canada, maybe Scott Thompson. When they first came to America, when they came to America in the 90s, it was like the Beatles coming to America. So all of the female comedians were like, "Ooh, which one of us is gonna go? Which one?" And of course, I got the one that I wanted, which is Scott Thompson.
Well, everyone wanted Scott Thompson.
He's the best one.
That's so neat to know that America, because I was in Canada then, and we thought they were amazing. But like, it's always great to hear that like we were right. So I was doing research on you was fascinating, and because like you think you know someone because you're a fan of their work, but then you deep dive when you do this show. And first of all, something that I found crazy was I watched your stand-up special, Psycho, and it was so relevant to today. Like I was like, when was this? I had to look up the date because I thought it was done like during this time because things are very much still the same. I mean, I'm sure John Travolta's butthole is still chapped, and racial injustice still going strong. You talk about that a lot in it. So I thought that was so fascinating that if people go and watch this, you will feel like you are watching a commentary on what's going on right now.
Yes. I think that subjects about like things haven't changed a lot, and I think that one of the things that we can talk about a lot in comedy that unfortunately doesn't change is racism. And it's one of those things that I feel like the pandemic, it has really forced us to sit and shelter in place and really think about these issues, which is why I think things are starting to change. That's why Black Lives Matter has started to really, actually have an impact finally, because we're really looking at the nation's true pre-existing condition, which is racism. So I think it's a really important cause. It's a really important thing that we actually stop killing Black people, and it's actually taking hold. And so I'm really grateful for that. I feel like, you know, as somebody that's been working towards change, as an Asian American woman, as a queer Asian American woman, as somebody who's politically progressive, as a feminist, I've wanted this different world for so long. And so I'm really grateful that I'm starting to see it. And I'm really scared of getting sick because I'm older and I'm worried about the pandemic, but I've been out there protesting, and you know, I want the world to be better. And so this is worth going out there, if anything is.
Yeah, I just like was so impressed by, you have been doing this kind of activism for a really long time. Like, and yeah, I just also, you've been doing like a lot of things in your, so on this show, the Hump Day HQ behind the scenes sometimes give me this like research thing. And on yours was that you used to be a phone sex operator at the very ripe age of 15. And I want to know, how did you do that? Because I've been trying for like to get that job for, I don't want to say how old I am, but all my life.
Well, you know, they don't really have, I guess, well, I mean, nowadays, I guess they don't really have it that much anymore, because now everybody wants to do it on the cams. So they have the cam.
I was paying for phone sex. I'd feel gypped if it wasn't a Zoom.
Well, now, I mean, nowadays they have like the sort of the more of a, like a Zoom experience. Maybe they'll go back, because when I was young, and that was very expensive. You could get kind of like, you would have to pay a lot. We didn't get a lot of money for it doing it. Of course, we would get we would get some money, but it was like, and I was doing it underage. It was all very shady.
Oh, like 15 doing phone sex.
It was not good, and it was also, we got some special, like, it was a very special program to teach people to learn how to speak English. So it was English as a second language.
Phone sex? Oh my God.
So it was Hot Girls USA. So it was a lot of different language skills being taught through sex talk. So very simple sentence structure, like, I want to have sex with you. So you could, like, it was like noun, verb, you know, basic sentence structure, but in a way that could be applied to life.
Yeah. You're killing a lot of birds with one stone. Like, you're getting, you have a job and you are learning English and you're learning about sex and all the things you probably wouldn't want out there in the world. But then I was fascinated by this. I also heard, this might be not true, but I heard that you were into musicals. And
yes.
Okay, you are. Thank God, because
yes, I love it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I like to play games on this show, and so in the writer's room, somebody came up with this idea called "Make Musicals Gay Again," and we were all like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And we got as far as the Book of Mormon, like it was making musical lyrics gayer. But anyways, the point is that game is impossible. It doesn't work. So what I decided is that I'm going to play a different game with you. It's a phone sex game, but it's called Make Musicals Gay Again, because that was a great title. That worked.
Right. I like that.
Okay.
Like that.
So here's the game and how it's going to be played. Okay. Basically, it's like charades.
Okay.
But with lines from musicals done in phone sex operator voice.
Okay.
And we have to guess what the musical is from. It's actually like, it's harder in theory than in practice. So I'll do one.
Okay.
And then I wanted to get a phone. Okay. I need, oh my God, this is so much harder than I thought.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of
I
hard.
never want what I ordered. I just made up. Okay. Need to get into phone sex voice. You're the one that I want. Oh, honey. Grease, yes, Grease. Grease. My phone sex voice was terrible, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better.
That was so good. Okay. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you?
Yentl.
Yes, that was so good.
You know what? That's mine. That was my one.
Oh, I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Okay, we're killing it right now. Here's I'm gonna find my phone. Oh, look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? There's no in it. I just did that.
Remember that?
It's Little Mermaid.
I love stuff. Oh no!
Great.
Okay. We get the job done. I forgot all the ones we'd written. You'd written. I forgot.
Which musical is that?
That was Hamilton.
Oh, I can't believe. Okay, had you done more, I would have known that one because I'm obsessed with Hamilton.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew that was a good one.
It was a good one.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. I'm glad we're on this. We're still equals right now.
We tried. We tried.
Okay, what about this one? I don't think I'm saying the lyrics right.
Cats.
Let me try it again. Because I have to do it sex voice and in the thing. So okay.
Who's really interested in it is. She's like looking at you like, what is going on?
It was a mistake.
She's like, what? She's like, what is going on?
What's your dog's name?
Lucia.
Oh my God, that's my mother's name.
Oh, really?
That's my mother's name.
That is so cute.
Oh my God. Okay,
cute.
You get one more to like even this out.
Okay. Try not to get worried. Try not to turn onto problems that upset you. Don't you know? Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I win. Okay, before I give you your quarantine nickname, I don't know if you've been watching backstage, but I've been asking people to do their coming out story in 30 seconds because it's easier and I find it entertaining. So could you do it?
Yes. So I told my parents that I was gay, and then they were like, oh, okay. And then I told them later that I was bi, and they were like, no. And then I told them that I was straight, and they're like, okay. And then I was like, then I'm bi, and they're like, no. And then I said I was gay, and they're like, okay. And then I said I was bi, and they're like, no. So they accept that I'm gay, they accept that I'm straight, they don't accept that I'm bi. They're no. So every time I'm bi, they're like, no. Every time I'm straight, and they're like, yes. Every time I'm gay, they're yes.
That is fascinating. I want to know why. I mean, they just want you to be decisive.
Yeah, they're fine with gay, they're fine with straight. They're not okay with bi or pan. They don't like the duality.
I'm a black and white person. I'm real like something has to be one way or the other. And that's why I hate myself. Because I'm constantly all the ways. But anyway, I could talk to you forever. I'm coming on your show. I'm coming on your podcast.
I know. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm going to wash my hands of you for now. Thank you so much for coming on. And I will see you soon.
See you very soon.
Happy Pride.
Hey everybody, my name is Ben, and like a lot of people in the entertainment business, I work multiple gigs to make ends meet. Singer-songwriter, promoter, and host of fun events like karaoke and drag queen bingo. Everybody from the sound and light tech to your host to the fabulous talent, we all work hard to entertain you and show you some love. Will you show us a little bit of love by giving a donation to the Actors Fund? And every little bit counts in helping us make sure that the show will go on.
Okay. So my next guest is a friend of mine. I have friends. She is a Chilean actress, model, and friend of mine. She starred in the movies The Green Inferno, Knock Knock, and one of the coolest movies from last year, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Lorenza, Izzo, come on down.
Hi.
It's so, I love this show for giving me the opportunity to see people I don't see right now because I'm in.
I know.
Are you in quarantine?
I know we're all in quarantine.
Okay, good. I feel like people are because I like aside from going out for March.
It's just weird. It's like this weird quarantine period where like we're supposed to be like closed up because there's a pandemic going on, and then slowly it's opening up, and so there's restaurants open, but you have to wear a mask, and then at the same time I've been protesting, so I have been now trying to be as careful as I can be. So it's like this weird in between that I'm like, okay, I'm not so sure what's happening. Why are we forgetting there's an actual pandemic going on? So like try to find that balance of like
and marching is forgetting. I feel like you're protected. This is how my brain works. I feel like you're
tell me
doing a good thing.
So exactly. I agree with you 100%. There are things that I think are absolutely worth it. And I mean, as a Chilean, white passing, Latina, so I'm a woman of color, feminist in progress, all of the labels in my intersectionality, because I heard with Laverne and I was like, oh my God, never has someone spoken such truth to what I feel about identity and how there's so many different things happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like within all of those identities that I'm constantly, swimming through, I think protesting and marching is a good damn reason to get out there from this crazy time that we're living in.
Yeah. Well, so when I asked you to be on this show, I was like, hey, are you out? And which is a strange question because I met you at the after party for the L Word premiere. So
I was freaking out. I'm such a fan. And I was like, oh my God, she's here. And I think the publicist from Showtime was like, oh, I can introduce you. I'm like, I'm not so sure I'm going to be okay. Like I was so nervous. It was
my God, that's very nice considering Kate Menig was there. And
I know. Staring all night. Stared all night.
Yeah. So, okay, but I asked you, like, have you come out? And you're like, yeah, I'm out, but I've never come out, like, publicly or anything. So
no.
I was thinking you could I've been doing 30-second coming out stories. So you give your public coming out story in 30 seconds live, right now, publicly live.
Okay, so I'm doing this now. I'm okay, wow, okay.
Come out.
Okay, right. So I got divorced from my ex-husband, and then I feel like I'm racing. I got divorced, and then I started going out in the world trying to figure out what I actually liked. There was a whole new different world. I started watching the show called Schitt's Creek, and there was a particular character called Stevie, and she had a particular conversation with Dan Levy about wine, and you like all wines, it's not about the label. And then I go to the L Word premiere after party, I meet you, and then we start talking, and then we end up hanging out, and then you invite me to your show, and it's quarantine, and I guess I'm coming out now, live, as I'm in your show. Hi, I'm pansexual.
Oh my God. Oh my God. First of all, this has never worked. Now it really doesn't. Second of all, I helped. That's so me. Okay, but do you think that we're going to talk about Bitmojis? That's something else we have in common.
I should have put that in because that did help me in my coming out as well.
That did. But would you say what I just did was a good example of how not to support your friends coming out by making them come out on my terms?
You absolutely gave an example of how not to help a friend that is in the midst of coming out. I mean, I recently saw this movie, Love, Simon. I don't know how I missed it. And the biggest thing that stuck to me is that as a person who's going through that, through coming out, and I think that's another discussion to have, like a talk to for hours, because I feel like you're constantly coming out sometimes, you know, it's a never ending weird thing where you can't just be, you feel like you have to constantly be like, oh, but this is who I am and I hope you accept it. Yeah. I think as a friend and as someone who's in your circle, it is so important to allow the person to have their coming out as however they want it to be, with however time they need it to be. I think it's like such an important thing. And they had such a good line of like, you took that from me, you know, and I just think it's so special to like have that.
Show, you took that from me?
Yeah. And there's a line where he's like, he finally confronts all his friends because he really screws up, because while he's trying to not come out publicly, he's struggling with all these feelings, and to hide the fact that he's gay and he doesn't want to come out, he starts screwing a lot with his friends, and not in a bad way. And then when, you know, all the conflict comes up, he goes, I did it all because you took this from me. You took the opportunity for me to come out on my own terms, which is another guy that he made friends with. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I bawled my eyes out.
Oh my God, I haven't seen it. I'm going to watch it now. Oh God, that really is like, I mean, first of all, I would like people to know that I did. I'm ruined. Like, but I did it. I asked you, but still, I think it's something that I would totally do. I would be like, do this now. But like, no.
Well, because, you know, that's a funny thing as a friend. And if you're already out in it and you have like a good story about it, right? And you feel really comfortable, you want to be supportive, like, babe, no one cares. Go do it. But it's like, it doesn't matter because it's not about you. And some people also are of the thought of like, I don't ever need to come out. I'm never going to explain myself or my gender or who I'm attracted to or what I identify with. And I think that's cool too. But I think if you are in that other, like I was, you know, I never knew if anyone would care. Like, do I need to come out publicly? Do I need to come out personally? Like coming out to my mom was really hard. And I have like a nice group of incredible group of friends that have been so supportive, that has made my kind of journey easy-ish, you know, in a sense, like just very welcoming and very supported. And that's not really the story for like, most people, I think. And it's not the more common one, I believe, even today in 2020, which is just so insane to me.
Right. But I kind of love what you say about that you feel like you have to come out and re-come out. And like when you said, you know, I didn't even feel like, do I have to come out? I've definitely felt that way.
Right? It's weird.
100%. And I don't feel like I ever came out.
On one angle, I'll tell you, like from like on one side, I'm like, who really cares? Like, but I will say this, like, I'll give examples, like having you, or like, for example, Cara Delevingne, who very early on was like, this is who I am, and just accept it. Those like public figures coming out publicly did in a way help me be more okay, just like saying it out loud and proud, because then I understood like, oh, if I have any kind of platform, little or big, if my quote secret or that part that could be private of my life, and that would be okay, if I choose to make that public, maybe somewhere in the world, hopefully in Chile, another girl or guy or whatever it is you identify with will make me feel safer to come out. Oh, I'm going to do it. You know, like I think that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me, to do that constantly, to keep coming out publicly constantly. If in some way or shape it can help someone else, I think that's kind of cool. And that's a sense of community we have as well.
Right. I'm sure you get this, like those DMs from people saying that you're being out and that never occurred to me, because again, I didn't feel like there was anything for me to come out about. I've just always like what I liked, and they happen to be like a really wide spectrum of people. And
right there with you.
I'm just a slut. No, I'm not. I'm gonna get, this is PG. This is PG.
Yeah, I was told ahead of time this was PG, and I'm like, oh my God, Lorenza, watch.
Oh yeah, yeah. But what did, like, I never wanted to be like really public with any relationships I was in, but I was in one relationship that was somewhat public, and the thing that actually I realized makes me feel the best is when I get messages from people saying that because they saw an example of them being in a loving relationship and it being just like normal. And I think that's what we get on Schitt's Creek a lot, that people feel like they'll be loved too. We get that about like Patrick and David, mothers who write in and say, like, I feel like my son's gonna be okay because someone will love him. And I can't believe in this day and age. Because
that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's go back to the word normal. I mean, the things that we're fighting or protesting about in the streets should be things that are just like, are we crazy? But that's the reality, and that's history, and that's what it's done. So it's like so important to add to what you're saying, to keep that going, to keep making content as an artist, as a creative, or if you are public and you choose to be public, to keep doing that, because it really helps, and it really does make a change.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, so I had Hannah Gatsby on my show. Do you know Hannah Gatsby?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh
so we're all obsessed with Hannah Gatsby.
I would die.
So Hannah Gatsby was on my show, and the website WikiFeet came up, and
oh my god!
just because she was like, what comes up when you Google your name, and mine is feet. I don't know why, but
I'm on it too, I think.
Oh, where is my? I have a anyways. Oh yeah.
Someone I feel like told me about this, and I'm like,
I don't know what lost me that half star.
But yeah, wait, what is up with that? You should have your 5 stars. Is it 3? Yeah, it's 5 stars.
I know, but I don't know. Anyways, but the point is, so you were in Quentin Tarantino's last movie, and I wondered, did your feet come up?
Yeah, I mean, my character doesn't wear closed shoes, of course, and there's close-up shots of my feet walking down. Yes, feet for Quentin are definitely a thing, and he's not shy about it. And it's hilarious, but it's a real thing. Apparently,
thing. Actually, Lorenza has 211 pictures on WikiFeet, wears a size 7.5 shoe, and has 5 out of 5 stars.
Oh my god, I beat you.
What did I do to lose?
First of all, big mistake. I am an 8 size shoe. Also, 211 photos. How are they? What? That's a lot. That's a lot.
I can't believe you're 5 out of 5. Oh, that's.
I'm winning the feet game.
Okay, can I ask you, what is your first Pride memory?
Oof, out already, or in general on life?
Oh, interesting. I was thinking of like Pride memory, like of Pride Month and stuff. But you're right, Pride. You're smart.
No, but for me, the first. Thank you, babe. It's not just my feet. I'm also smart. It's amazing. No. I think the first thing that comes to mind was last year when my girlfriend and I went to Stonewall to the 50th anniversary, and it was. I think it was still tricky with my family, and I was not feeling so great about how I was having this and you could talk about this for ages, about patriarchal things and everything kind of feeling in conflict. And we went there and we walked by the Cubbyhole bar, and we had like a group of all of like our friends, and most of them lesbians, I believe, and we were just all together, and it wasn't even a thing. There was such a sense of just, of course, celebration and the rainbows and all the colors, but I had a sense of calm and recognition, and it was like there was like a secret wink between everyone, like, I see you, I got you, and it was just, I don't know, I felt like I could breathe, and I wasn't this weird thing, and it was just, I don't know, it was really special. I'm never gonna forget that.
This is the graffiti on the wall, on the stone wall.
Yes, on your bag. I remember when I ran into it at another party you were wearing, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, and Miss J. Alexander was the one who told me that. I didn't. Again, I keep I don't clearly know anything, but I'm learning, and
we're learning. That's what matters.
So fascinating to me. Now I want to go to Stonewall.
And especially with everything today. I mean, with thanking our lovely Marsha P. Johnson. I mean, it's just it's all like, for me, it's been such a rebirth and a being okay with who I am, and being the social justice warrior that I always wanted to be inside. It's all coming together in my proudness.
Oh, I want to talk to you forever. Okay, I'm gonna before I wash my hands of you because like because I have to, they're making me.
Yes, and there's and I talk too much, so yes, let's go.
No. Okay, but before I wash my hands of you, I have to give you your queer and teen nickname, and that is the emotional state you're feeling right now, and the last thing you ate.
Happy biscuit.
Biscuit.
Yes. I had a biscuit for breakfast this morning. It was delicious. Biscuit with eggs. So happy biscuit and eggs.
I love you. Happy biscuit and eggs. I wash my hands of you. Thank you
I love
so
you too.
so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
Say hi to your girlfriend and bye.
I will. She says hi.
What does pride mean to me? Being my authentic self and having the love and support of those around me that love how I love and are true supporters in how I live my life.
So growing up in a really tiny town in Louisiana, as a kid, I had no clue what the word gay meant. But then I went to college and I kissed my first boy when I was 19 years old, so I knew then exactly what the word gay meant. And I realized that I was gay. So if I haven't seen you in 30 years, this is my coming out story just for you.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that. And that is Chester, the producer of this show. And that was so great, Chester. Okay, so I am in love with my next guest. And if you aren't, after this interview or after watching any of his YouTube videos on his channel, The Miles Chronicles, you are a monster. It's just the truth. He's the most wonderful, amazing thing ever. So we met doing this terrifying kind of stand-up thing called Don't Tell My Mother and Don't Tell Your Mother, and it was basically you would tell things you wouldn't want your mother to know. Mine was embarrassing. His was brilliant. He can be seen on the Hulu comedy series Grad Night and season 2 of Verizon Go 90s. Now we are talking Miles McKenna.
Hey, Queen.
I love you.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
I miss you.
I miss you too, but I've been stalking you. So like I was saying to Margaret Cho, like people I know of them and everything, but then I go in a deep dive research-wise when they're going to come on the show. So
you got the tea. You got all the tea.
I went crazy. So you're a YouTube megastar.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm telling, this is news. I'm telling you this now. You are a YouTube megastar. Do you remember your first YouTube video?
Oh yeah, I mean, I started making YouTube videos when I was 11 because I've always been an only. I shouldn't say I was an only child, but like we only. So like after school, like I just would talk to my camera, and I think in place of that, like it would have been a sibling. So kind of like through time, it changed from being something after school that I would do for fun to then like really a lifeline and like, you know, a support system with all these other people that identified the same way I did before I even had the language to put to how I felt. And then, you know, really like doubled as like my chosen family. And so now I have like a bunch of siblings is what I always say. So yeah, my first video, I think it was like 2007, 2006, but.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what it was. It was foods that look like Ellen DeGeneres. That's your first video.
That is not my first video.
Oh my God, no.
Nuh-uh, no, Queen, that is not. I have so many channels, people can't find me.
Oh, okay, well, anyway, so I was, okay, I went all the way to the end of that channel. But, so I was watching it with my co-writer on this show, Neela, who's a trans woman, and I like, we both thought, I thought your first video was funny and amazing, but she was really, really affected by the fact that you kept your pre-transition videos up. And it, like, we talked about this for like almost an hour after. she was like, it's so inspiring for her that you're just owning it. And because I think a lot of trans friends of made don't want their pre-transition anything to be seen or shown. And so what made you feel cool with doing it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, look, they weren't up for a long time. I went through, when I first came out, it was like a long time coming, right? Because like all through like my pre-teen years and my teen years, it was like, I was kind of playing the like, oh, I'm just really like an advocate for like LGBT rights. And I'm just like super interested, right? I was like, oh my God, I love trans masculine people. I'm such an ally, you know, and like not really like naming it for myself because it was really scary. And, you know, we don't grow up, you know, hearing a lot of these lived experiences and identities. And a lot of times when this language is given to you, it's given to you in like a derogatory way of like, oh, like trans people exist, but like you're going to hell if you are that. So it's like, okay, well, that can't be me. Like, you know, who I am must go by other terms like tomboy or athletic, right? Like, you know, because I don't want people to hate me. And so I went through a lot of just, you know, internalizing how my family would react, how people would react around me. When I ended up saying fuck that as I got older and like I left my folks' house, you know, I was so ecstatic and like excited that I finally figured it out. And then through being able to, you know, medically transition and do things I wanted to do, it started to kind of go backwards for me. And I started getting really insecure. And it was like, okay, people are able to find out now very personal things about me, like what my, you know, my dead name was or what I look like, or, you know, things that weren't me, things that were pushed on me through like, you know, my childhood, my teen years. And so I took down all these old YouTube videos and I was like, do I even want to be like a YouTuber? Like, it's just weird to me that people that I don't know, like know these things about me. And I got super, super insecure. And I think as I've gotten older, I've really learned to champion my identity, because the thing is, when I was that little kid who was really trying to figure out who I was, I would get so excited when I'd find like a trans masculine person online and I was able to scroll all the way back on their photos or videos until they looked like me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and like the long hair, it gave me hope. And so that was something that, you know, I think when I was like a year into hormones, I was just like, I don't want to take that away from someone else, and like, you know, really started to champion who I was in this space of like someone with a trans experience. And like, I know what it felt like. So it's like, I you know, and now I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck, so it's all good. But you know, it was like a journey to get there.
Yeah, it's so inspiring to be out there, like put yourself out there like that. In like I said, it was inspiring to Nilo, but also like to me, watching your videos about where you talk about acne and stuff. I have a whole album on my phone, like a photo album. It's called Acne. And what is in there is all acne. And I actually get like, I get embarrassed when people tell me, oh my God, your skin's so great. Because they don't know that I do this on a 12-year-old MacBook Air and face the world with my Bitmoji. But like, I've had really, really bad acne. And I think if everyone did that, there would be so much more like confidence in the world. I think.
Sure.
But it's a hard thing to do. But you inspire me like big time.
Oh, stop. It's a two-way street.
No,
Thank you.
for real. But I saw this Billboard magazine interview you did. And where was, you said this on it. And you said, you learn to guard your magic. And that phrase really stuck with me. And I'm like, I want to know more about this. I want to know, how'd you come up with that? What is that? I want to know about guarding magic.
Yeah, let me tell you. So, hey, what's up? So we're taking J.K. Rowling's job here because she's transferred. Here we are. But no, for real, I think with that interview, I was talking specifically, I think, about like my LGBT experience. And that was the thing where I, you know, came out originally with my sexuality and it didn't go well in my house. And I was kind of, what I say is like, I was thrown into kind of gay purgatory where it was like, I was out, but like, where do I go from here? Because no one was cool with it. So it's kind of like you're at a crossroads of like, I could just really go back in the closet further than before because everyone else around me would be so cool with me just like shutting up about this gay shit. And like, you know,
that's what you talked about on that show, on the thing we did together. You talked about how you you were thinking of joining the circus because your family wasn't very supportive of you coming out.
Yeah, and so what I had to learn was to guard my magic, and it was like, I don't have to change myself for anyone else. Right now, I have to coexist somehow in this home because that is what I have to do for survival right now. And that doesn't mean I need to change me. I just don't need to give you all these parts of me. I'm gonna like I'm gonna guard who I am. I don't need to change who I am, and like buy my time until I can go out and live in West Hollywood, which I ended up doing. So you sometimes you just gotta guard your magic and like play the game of like, I need to surround myself with these people right now that just don't see me for whatever reason, and that's their own baggage they can deal with, not mine. So you know what I mean?
Who is your therapist? Like you really are way wise beyond your years. Like I do like therapy twice a week and I don't have this shit. Like
Los Angeles Gender Center, hey.
Really? Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to you for 75 years.
Yes.
I hate that I have to go on.
We're all here.
No. But okay, look at this. Again, I have like 75 pages. This is what's killing me, this show. But I do want to say that I saw you, you on your YouTube page, you talked about Black trans people matter, and you were doing this, the Trans Obituary Project, which was so moving. And I wanted you to talk about it on this, but I'm gonna put the kind of website on my Instagram, and but can you say what that is?
Yeah, sure. So, let's tell it like it is. Black trans women are being murdered at a much higher rate than men, any other people, and there's statistics that can, support that and everything. And out.com did a whole piece about how, these women are mainly, when they're talking about what happened in the media, it's mainly them being misgendered, or it's like, if they're not being misgendered, it's just like, here's something brutally awful that happened to this person, and it's really dehumanizing them. And people already try to dehumanize trans people, and trans people are already erased through history. And so we see that within like these terrible events that take place. And so out.com went into the books and the Twitters and was like, who are these women? Who were these women? Who are the people that loved them, and reached out to, their family and their friends, and got accounts of, what they loved, who they were, what they loved to do, and wrote little obituaries, little articles about who these women were in their life, because that's what's important, and that's what needs to be told. And so I just retold these stories of all the women that we know that, and also I think I also included trans masculine people too, Black trans masculine people that were killed between the year of 2019 until just recently. And I put that video up, and then, a week later we lost 2 more lives. And so, it's an epidemic that is happening. And so I just wanted, on my platform as a trans person, and also as someone with, a lot of privilege, I'm a trans person, but I walk through this world being seen as just a white guy. And so using my platform of people that follow me to uplift these voices, as well as my body going to these events and these protests, and share space with everyone. So yeah, that's what this was.
You're the most amazing human. I want to have an entire show with you. I adore you. Before you go, I have to give you your quarantine nickname, which is the emotion you're feeling now plus the last thing you ate.
Okay, ready? I'm saying ecstatic quad shot latte.
Ooh, oh.
Thanks, Queen, for having me.
I love you so much. And I'm going to put more stuff, everything I wanted to talk about with you on the I love you. I'm washing my hands of you. My hands are getting dry because I have a lot of guests.
Moisturize it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I love you. Oh my God. He is amazing. Okay, we're going to have a little kid tell us what Pride is.
Pride is all about celebrations. Pride means you're gonna try something open, like for pretend you want to pry your treehouse open. Pride means a cannibal.
To me, pride means that you are proud of yourself, the way you act, how you do things, and not caring about what other people think about you.
Oh, everybody's adorable. Okay, so my next guest is an actor and a singer. So everyone's a singer now. Anyways, he's probably a real singer, and was the first Filipino to have a leading role on a network TV series. He's had roles on Insatiable, Adam Ruins Everything, and Designated Survivor, but he is best known as Josh Chan on the CW's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Vincent Rodriguez.
Hi, Emily.
Oh my God, I love your Mickey. Is that a Mickey? Is that a prideful Mickey? That's amazing.
I'm letting it go. You know, we usually go to Pride every year, or for the last 5 years with my husband, and you know, times are different, but I thought I'd take this opportunity to celebrate with all of you and you.
Well, happy
Pride.
Pride.
To be here. Happy Pride.
So when I do this show, the people behind the scenes send me research on my guests, and yours went something a little like this. Okay, he enjoys working, talking, and teaching dance classes. Trains in extreme martial arts with a focus on weapons, stunts, and acrobatics, and has 2 black belts in Shotokan, karate, and taekwondo. So we have nothing in common.
True.
But I thought this would be a real teachable moment where people who are completely diametrically opposed could be friends. So what's your favorite color? Mine's rainbow.
Blue. I'm wearing blue. I'm wearing blue shorts. I own way too much blue.
Okay. We could be friends like that. We could also, it also said, I forgot this detail. It says you're a magician. How did you get into magic? Because I hate it. Change my mind.
Oh, sure. Well, when I was a kid, so I was a martial arts kid, you guys. So I loved Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers and yeah, and I was this chunky Filipino kid in Daly City, California, which is a suburb of San Francisco. And I grew up thinking like wanting to be like an action hero and thinking that'll never happen because I don't see people like me on the screen until I saw Paul Montalban. And that all changed because he was in Cinderella and he was dreamy and he was opposite Brandy. I'm getting off track. Magic. So
no, but that is very fascinating because to me you look like a superhero, and it's fascinating that you had no examples of that. But sorry, I don't mean to keep.
Well, that things changed. I went through a huge body transformation 3 years ago, and so I've been maintaining a new physique and a new wardrobe that is much smaller than my last wardrobe. But I digress. Magic. I used to go to Disneyland with my family every year. Did you go to Disneyland? Were you a big fan of Disneyland?
If I'm being honest, I like Disneyland for the snacks, for the food and stuff. And so
churros. Got it.
Yes, we have a lot in common. Okay.
I feel like you and I would have a blast at Disney for a day. We would just have an amazing time.
So you know Disney because you used to go to Disney a lot, and then
I used to, and then that's the thing is that my sisters moved out because I have 3 older sisters, and I'm the youngest of 4 and the only boy. My dad wanted a son. So Vincent Rodriguez III, I don't know if I'll have another kid. I don't know if I'll have another kid. A child. I don't have kids. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So
oh my God, I love you.
It's hot in this room.
Oh my God. Okay. I love you so much for saying that. Can I just talk to you about at the beginning of this? I was so nervous. I had Laverne Cox come on, then Sarah Kate Ellis, who's president of GLAAD, who I had so many like intelligent questions that I didn't understand that I wanted her to explain to me, but then I like couldn't even speak. And so I love you for saying you're nervous because I was dying. And so I think it's important to admit, I just wanted you to admit, I'm so glad you had said that. Thank you for making me feel better.
Oh, totally. Well, I was watching one of your interviews, and that's one thing that I immediately gravitated towards. I felt I look for that now in interviews with celebrities and people that I'm interested in knowing more about on the internet. So I'll just like YouTube them and just see their energy and see how they carry themselves. And it's always so humanizing to see someone just be nervous and to be okay with that, or to say that. It's so empowering to the moment and to each other, who people watching. We're all just people.
I feel that with, I don't know if you saw Miles McKenna, but like that's
I did, yeah.
100% does, is he's just in the moment. As an actor,
So
it's the hardest thing to do and the only thing you want to do and can do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, now I feel real bad that I said we had nothing in common when we don't have sports and like that kind of stuff, but inside we have a lot in common.
Yeah. I mean, let's not get crazy. I'm not a big sports fan. I don't know that much about sports.
You would never do this, would you? I got
have
this
Nutella?
in 2013.
I mean, do you have a spoon? I mean, is there?
Yeah.
Do you have hand sanitizer?
I didn't put it on bread because I'm not gonna have carbs, but I ate that.
Spoon. You don't eat the spoon. Just the Nutella. No carbs for you.
Spoon is the vehicle, the vessel for the Nutella to get in my mouth. That's all.
I thought you were going to say something super profound, like the vehicle, the vessel towards, and I thought you were going to say something like towards evolution, and you were like, for the Nutella to go in my stomach.
Like that. Oh, okay, but so I went on the whole thing. I cut you off about magic because magic people always, why I hate magic, and it's just because I don't watch, like, I can't watch shows with like Middle Earth. I don't like Middle Earth either. I don't like dragons. I like real things. So that's why I feel like I hate magic. But now that I know you do it, I think I'm gonna love magic.
Well, here's the thing. I got to tell you why I love it.
Okay, I want to know.
So when we didn't go to Disneyland, I said to my parents, Mom, Dad, what's up? Like, I was a privileged little kid because you go to Disneyland every year as a kid, right? Like, you expect it. And so my sisters were gone and I missed them. And I was like, can we go anywhere? And they were like, we'll take you to Reno in October during the 3-day weekend or something. And I'm like, Vegas. I'm like, what's in Vegas? So we went to Circus. But on the way there, we were driving. This is the story. This is like the movie in my mind. We passed a billboard that said Lance Burton till 2015 or something, or some many years ahead of the future. And I went, Mom, Dad, can I go see that? And they were like, yeah, we'll see. But something in me said, you have to go see that magician. And I had been watching The World's Greatest Magic during Thanksgiving time. I think it just happened that year or was about to start. And so I got really into just the performance of magic and its design and its arc. And I just got really, and I saw Lance Burton, I saw David Copperfield, and I met Lance, got a photo with him. I came back home. I was a magician. I trained in magic. I got a magic brother. We trained magic together. We bought DVDs. We taught each other things. And I was a magician. I had a magic show 2 years later at my high school.
Oh my God. That is actually, that's a very inspiring story of like, if you want to do something, you just do it and get a magic brother.
Yeah, well, we were bros. I mean, Filipino bros, and I got he wasn't even part of my clique of friends, which was like Filipino and Chinese, like, because in my high school, I wasn't the minority. It was very diverse in Daly City. So that was my experience growing up, which is very much like Josh Chan, who lives in West Covina, California, and had a very diverse group of friends. So Josh's story is very, very much like mine. And they did put magic into the show or into the storyline towards the end of the final season, but I never got to actually do magic, even though I think my record is, you can give me a brand new deck of cards and a Sharpie, and I can do a 30-minute set, no preparation for a group of people.
Whoa. I'm gonna test you on that. Also,
Oh, no.
I'm not a magician, and the great thing about being an actor is they get experts to teach you whatever you need to learn. And I got taught magic, this magic trick that I was doing it, and I'm like, why am I learning this? Doesn't the magic trick happen in the editing? But anyway, now I wish I could talk to you forever. I have to go, but I wanna before I go, I want two things. I want can you give me your 30-second coming out story? Because I've been doing that with people, because coming out's usually really long and hard, and so I thought it could be cathartic doing 30 seconds. You don't have to. I could just give you a quarantine nickname.
I don't even remember my coming out story, because it would all. You know why it's blurry? Because I studied acting and immersed myself in theater, and coming out didn't matter. I was just like, I'm doing it. I'm doing what I love to do.
You're gay or not, you're gay if you're in the theater group. You don't need to come out. Got it.
Right?
I just decided that. But I'm going to give you a quarantine nickname, okay? That you have to take. You have no matter. It's the emotional state you're feeling right now and the last thing you ate.
Okay, sorry. I realized on my monitor you are wearing a very sparkly jacket, and I'm only now noticing it, and you look fabulous. Okay. Wait, how do I? Oh my gosh! Sorry, this is my. I'm not. Oh yeah, you're wearing pants.
Barely.
You're wearing the funnest outfit.
Thanks.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I dressed up, guys, because I would have felt underdressed.
I was the only one so far. Thanks.
I'll wear sequins. I'll spray glitter on my face next time, or in my hair. Okay, so how do I make my name? How do I make my quarantine nickname?
You're feeling right now, plus the last thing you ate.
Excited gummy bear.
Oh my God, I want gummy bears. Oh, I'm so glad I got you.
No, okay.
Oh, you know what I do? I actually cut them in half. I put the heads of one gummy color on another gummy color, and then I squish them together, and then I make them play, and then I eat them. I'm washing my hands of you, but I'm so glad I met you. Thank you for being on. Bye.
Bye, Emily. Thanks for having me. See you.
Thank you.
My first ever Pride in Los Angeles. And this was the first time that I ever felt like I truly belonged to a community. And it was the first time that I really got to see that the rest of the world doesn't think the same way as the people I grew up around in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I left there feeling truly empowered, and it honestly changed so much about my life.
Oh my goodness. Okay. My last guest. This has been, seriously, I've washed my hands like so much. I've had so many guests, but this is like my last guest. It's very exciting. Is next level fabulous. He's a legend. He was the fashion expert on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. He has a new series on Bravo called Get a Room. I'm dying to see that. I haven't seen that yet, but I need to see that because it's called Get a Room. And he is a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race. Am I the only person who is not a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race? I've had so many judges on this show, and I've had two. This is going to be 2 on this show, and no one ever asked me. Anyways, he's an actor, an author, a fashion designer, and a world champion equestrian. I barely know what that word means. It's so fabulous, but please welcome Carson Kressley.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I have to mention it right away because people are being really lax about it, but you look amazing. Is that like a shirt dress? What is that?
Oh my gosh. First of all, this is like, I couldn't get this compliment from a better. Okay, wait, this doesn't. Okay. It's okay.
It's huge.
Okay. I don't know where it can go, but it's like this, okay? It's like a suit kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a sparkly, like Little Lord Fauntleroy, like little short pants suit, like a kid would wear, but it's amazing and I love it. It's so fun.
Thank you. Thank you, especially coming from you. Oh my God. Okay, I really got, so I am, as a lot of people are, obsessed with you. And before the first, I was, you know Tan from the new Queer Eye?
Yeah.
So Tan was gonna be on my show and I was watching him do a live video and it was with you. And so I don't know what that means, but I feel like it's meant to be.
I think it's 6 degrees of something. And I just have to preface also, I'm in like in a weird hotel right now. I don't live in like a space
Oh my God, you are.
An aerodynamic chair and weird beds. So just if anyone's watching, this isn't my house. I'm traveling, which is crazy, but
oh my God, how's traveling?
I like you said, I'm a horse person and horse show back since the shutdown, and it's in Virginia. So I was at my farm and I was able to drive, but I literally haven't been anywhere in 3 months. So it's so weird. I'm like learning how to like deal with like people and navigate like a drive through and all that crazy stuff. So here I am in my like holiday dress, and it's weird, but I'm here.
Oh my God. So what was harder, coming out as gay or coming out as equestrian?
Good question. Both were easy because I was born into it and it just seemed natural to me. And I know your last guest, who was so adorable, as soon as he said my, like womp womp womp. I want a cute, husband too. But he was saying, it was an easy process for him. I always tell this story, and I told this one to Oprah once she did a show called When I Knew. And I was like, well, Oprah, I sat my mom and dad down and, it was awkward. And they were like, what's going on? What do you have to tell us? And I was like, Mom, Dad, I'm gay. And they told and they were quiet. And then my mom said, well, let's see how the second grade goes. And that's my funny coming out story, because it felt like I never really had to, because I was, I basically came out and the doctor slapped my butt and I was like, oh my gosh, you're attractive and a doctor.
Oh my God. So, I believe that. I can see that.
Yeah, so it wasn't an issue. But I did have a funny, like, I never officially did it. I never actually sat them down and said the words, I'm gay, until Queer Eye for the Straight Guy was coming out. And I was 33 years old and we were going to be on the cover of the TV Guide on a day, I think it came out. And on a Saturday, I was like, I've got to go back home to Pennsylvania and have the official conversation.
Oh my God, that's fascinating, because Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, the first one, really paved the way for so much now. They don't even have to say for the straight guy now. They just Queer Eye, and we know what that is. But I remember when that came out, and it was it not like, what was that like being kind of the first gay show, like without gay men? And like, I don't remember there being anything else like at that point.
Yeah, it was one of the first. And I will tell you, one of the people that, there's always people that pave the way and make your experience a little easier. And
people, but
been something that I like to tell people, that is the power of coming out, because when you know someone that's an LGBTQ plus trans anybody, they become human, and you're like, well, I know Carson and he's gay, but I think he's fantastic. Why shouldn't he be able to adopt kids? Or why should he be able to get fired from his job at the bank? Or why shouldn't he be married? That human to human, it's very hard to be intolerant, someone said once, and I can't remember. Close up. So that's the power out and being out and proud. And in Pride Month, I love to kind of tell that story. But for me, I was so lucky because there was a trailblazer on television that I so responded to and so reacted to. And it was a gentleman named Pedro Zamora, and he was on a season of The Real World. And he was gorgeous. And he was like in his 20s, and he was HIV positive. He wound up passing away from AIDS. And I just remember seeing him on a reality show and thinking, my God, this guy is so brave. And, you know, if he can, you know, handle all of this on television, certainly I can just, you know, make straight guys, you know, get themselves out of pleated khakis and cut their mullets off. So everybody, every generation, and the power visible, whether it's online, on the internet, on television, on the radio, whatever, on the sports field. It's just when you're visible, young people say, oh, there's somebody like me. I can be successful. I don't have to like do something crazy, or I don't have to not be me, or I don't have to be afraid or ashamed. So I was lucky I had that person, and it was because of somebody I saw on TV.
Well, you paid it forward so well. Like, I love how you articulated that, because I really do believe that visibility is everything. And I always think of, like, before Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and stuff, I remember people in my hometown, which was a smaller place, like, gay wasn't okay then. And I remember gay being used as an insult. And then that world changed as we saw more gay people and you got to know them on a kind of personal level. And I feel like that's is going to be what has to happen with trans people and with non-binary. And I feel like that's to me, the only way is when you know a human, like you see the human in the person and you're like, oh, why can't Carson have kids? He's hilarious and the best dad. And
didn't have kids for other reasons, but not gay.
No, exactly. Me too. I have an abominable snowman child, and I do well with that. But you have a lot of horses.
I do.
So,
I'm at a horse show right now. And I grew up on a pony farm, so it was inevitable that I would be gay. And
yes, did you draw ponies as a child?
Did I what?
Draw ponies and horses?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I'm very good. I'm one of those people that is like people will see like if I'm on set, for example, and there's nothing happening, but I have a pad and paper there for like judging. I will be doodling, and I have two go-to doodles. I have a palm tree and a horse. So,
oh my God,
so talented. I'm like, no, those are the only two things I can draw. Trust me.
You have to look up what that says about you. There are doodles, there's things, I don't know. I do my signature a lot. It says I'm a narcissist. But okay, so I wanted to, okay, I see they're telling me I only have a certain amount of time, but I want to play 2 games with you because yeah? Okay. You're cutting out voice, but I'm taking that as a yes. You're going to play. Okay. So the first game we're going to play is I want to see if you're qualified to be a drag judge, because I feel like if there was anything I was qualified for is to be a drag race judge, and no one has asked me. And yet I'm a doctor. I got like my doctor guests who've come on have given me their doctor degrees.
I feel like you would be amazing at, and I know people, and I think we can make this happen. I mean, I know they would love to have you.
Okay, because I had Michelle Visage, I had Ross Matthews, and now I have you. And like, so anyways, I'm gonna see how qualified you are. This game is called Drag Name, Real or Not Real. Okay. How it's played, you have to listen carefully. It's very complicated. Okay. I'm going to say a drag name, and you have to say whether it's real or not real. And there's stakes to this, okay? Because for every correct answer you get, I'm going to donate $41.60, 66 cents to the Black Vision Collective, because if you win all of it, that will total $500.
Amazing.
If you get any wrong, even one wrong, I get to keep your drag judge degree. Okay? So, on your mark, get set, drag name, real or not. Monty Stat.
Monistat. That would be a good name, but I haven't heard of her, so I'm going to say it's not real.
It's real.
Is it?
Yes.
That sounds like a copyright infringement, but I love the name.
Carney Asada.
Oh, that's real. I've heard of her.
You're the worst drag judge ever. I'm taking your degree now.
Is
That's
that
fake.
What? I know there's a carne asada.
No. And I'm still going to donate anyways because the world shouldn't suffer because you're a bad drag name.
Thank you for that.
Kitten Caboodle.
That's really good too. I'm going to say that's a real person. I'm terrible, right?
I'm glad we have 2 games. That's all I'm going to say. I'm glad we have 2 so you can redeem yourself.
Well, whoever is writing these is very talented. And they should go into the drag queen naming business because they're doing a great job.
I agree. That would be Chester, the producer. I would agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Anita Procedure.
I feel like I've heard that name too, so I think that's real.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. $41.66. Okay. They're gonna be mad because I'm skipping some that I can't. Marta Beat You.
Marta Beat You? I think that's not real.
It's real. I agree though, it's not a very good one.
No.
It's real, and I said that. Okay. Mercedes Benz. That's good. Mercedes Benz.
I'm gonna say that's not real though.
Yes, you're right, but it's a good one.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Landon Cider. Oh, Landon Cider! Now I just got it.
I'm gonna say that's not real.
It's real. I'm so excited to have your drag judge degree.
Landon? That's terrible.
It's brilliant. Landon Cider. You get it?
No,
it took me 2 days.
I totally do. It's so invasive.
I know, because it's in cider. Okay. There's 2 more. There's 2 more. Nali Singh. I don't get this one.
Nali Singh?
I didn't write this.
I'm going to say I don't know what that one is either, so I'm going to say it's not real.
Right, correct. That is Chester's biggest fail. This is the last one. I think this is great. Dixie Longgate.
Oh, I've heard of her. That's real.
Yes! Okay, listen, you did very poorly. I'm still gonna donate because that was, again, people shouldn't suffer for your lack of knowledge.
Thank you, and I sure appreciate that.
Okay, here's the thing though, this next game, it's not really a game. Okay, here's the thing. I am supposed to shoot a TV show once this is all over,
right.
And I'm playing a part where set in the 1850s. And they asked me before the quarantine, they're like, can you ride a horse? And I said, yes, because
of course. That's what
as
you
an
do.
actor, the first thing you learn to say is, yes, I can ride a horse.
Of
the
course.
issue I'm having is I cannot ride a horse. So I thought maybe you could give me a few free tips.
Yeah, I should totally coach you. Where is this TV show going to be filming? Do you know?
In Nova Scotia.
Okay. So, and it's 1850s. I'm getting, did you see the Anne of Green Gables reboot on Netflix?
Oh, I've seen some of it. It's great. I know Anne of Green, but I haven't seen all of it. Should I for horse reasons?
No, but I feel like it's the same period, maybe this is a little bit like more mid 19th century, but I think if, are you like a lady? Are you like a renegade or what?
Basically, I'm like Stephen King in the 1850s. I'm like a novel. I'm like a writer. I'm ahead of my time. I go to Hollyoak school, but the main thing is I need to know, like, how would I approach the horse? Like, this is my horse. Do I go around it and like check for damage so that I don't get charged when I return it to Enterprise? No. Oh no, you're mute. You muted yourself. Carson, you muted your mic. How do you ride a horse? How do you drag judge when you can't even, you muted it. I need to know how to mount the horse.
Okay, I'm back.
Then you
it's just so annoying. Okay, so I think that if it's the 1850s, you might have to ride side saddle, which is even harder because you can't grip around the horse with your legs. You're literally just sitting sideways on the horse. So you should find that out.
Oh my God, I didn't think this was actually going to teach me something. But so side saddle is like sitting like.
Yeah,
this.
like you're sitting like on a wall and your legs are hanging over just on one side instead of being astride.
How do you mount the horse?
Oh, you should get a mounting block, which is like basically some steps that go right up to the horse. And you'll have a wrangler and a horse that's probably very, very quiet. And hopefully you don't have to do too much fast riding. But where do you live?
Me? LA.
Oh, I'm gonna if you message, I'm gonna message you a great riding instructor at the LA Equestrian Center at Bennett Farms, and they will put you on something just so you get used to the rhythm and everything. And you know who goes there all the time is Leslie Jordan, and that would be so fun if you rode together. And you basically. Yeah, and my 5 seconds worth of instruction is just oh
no. Well, I've mounted the horse. My horse is a starfish. It's disappointing. Oh gosh, of course this would happen.
I'm here somewhere. Of course, I can't seem to get back on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. This is amazing.
Wait, I got another phone call.
That's the more interesting.
No, not at all. But I don't know why the camera won't come back. But you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can. And I know that problem when FaceTime is really like invasive, and it takes away the. Okay, but you know what? Like I can't believe you actually gave me actual good horse training tips. I can give you your quarantine nickname, like auditorily.
Yeah, just orally.
Yes, just orally. Okay, so your quarantine nickname is the emotion you're feeling right now. Might be dark.
Right.
And the last thing you ate.
Oh. Well, I'm frustrated because this video, I'm a technophobe and I always have bad luck with technology. The disembodied voice of Carson Kressley. Yeah, I'm just like, I would be a character on like a 1970s sitcom about a ghost and a little girl. But anyway, I would be the frustrated banana because I was driving and I had a banana. And I've been very lonely, but I ate the banana.
I love you. This is nothing better could have happened, even though I love your face. But this is hilarious. So I'm gonna wash my hands of you. Also,
I think I'm coming back.
Well, it's too late, isn't it? I guess I'm just gonna have to go on Drag Race and take your place. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna send you that info. Bye. Happy Pride.
Oh my gosh, it couldn't have been better. I mean, this has been great. PSA.
His journey had only just begun. The end. Hi, I'm Isaac, and I'm a voice actor. You know, in the entertainment industry, we often live from paycheck to paycheck, and in an especially overwhelming pandemic like this one, many of us aren't sure how we're going to pay rent or even buy groceries. But by you donating to the Actors Fund, you can help keep the magic of Hollywood alive and well. And that's a guarantee.
Okay. Jeffrey?
Hi.
It's time for you to perform your Pride anthem. And I hope you're paying close attention because it has to be an anthem.
Yeah, it was a great show. Great show. A lot of guests.
A lot of guests. My hands were so dry, like chapped, like John Travolta's butt.
Oh, it might have found its way in here. Hold on. Here we go. Hey Emily, thanks for having me back. Along with Laverne from Orange is the New Black. Sarah Kate Ellis, president of GLAAD. Spelled with 2 ways, that's why I sing it like that. Brooklyn Heights is Canadian, y'all. Probably the best drag name of them all. So happy that Margaret Cho came on. I got to put John Travolta's butthole in a song. Butthole in a song. Butthole in a song. That was an effect. Lorenza is an acting queen. She even got 5 stars on WikiFeed. Let's all hop on that site and help out Emily. Gonna abruptly delete your browser history. Up next was Miles, a YouTube megastar. Learn to guard your magic so you can show your heart. Speaking of magic, there was Vincent Rodriguez, an actor, a singer whose magic is genius. Then came the OG, Carson Kressley, queer eye for the straight guy, trailblazing royalty. Had a lot of fun horsing around, but let me get just a little bit serious now. Be who you are, love who you love. Pride Month is something we should be proud of. Reminder for all in this day and age, a little bit of love goes a long way. Yeah, be who you are, love who you love. Pride Month is something we should be proud of. Please don't forget in this day and age, a little bit of love goes a long, long way. There you go. I got real at the end. I'm sorry. I had to.
Oh my God, I can't even like make jokes or anything.
It's okay. Do your thing. I'm going to wash my hands of the show now because it was a long one, but it was a good one.
It was real long, but that was so amazing. You're so talented. I want to say jokes and be mean to you because that's what I've decided I do to you. But like, Jeffrey, that was so great. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, I wash my hands of you. Oh, okay. This was such an amazing experience for me. I hope that everybody, learned something and had a good time at least and heard that, which is so beautiful. Please donate to the Actors Fund because that's still happening. And I will be donating on, I'll put the info up on my Instagram for Black Lives Matter and Black Trans Lives Matter. And there's also this Mr. Holmes Bakehouse, this churro toast. If you get this, they are donating. They've paired with Frontline Foods, and they donate 25% of every box to Black-owned businesses. And it's like you make a churro toast yourself. Anyways, I have to go because I've gone over. But thank you, and I wash my hands of you. And I hope I don't see you next week.
It started as a cough or maybe a sneeze. Now here we are in quarantine. And if you act, dance, play or sing, chances are you're on the couch not doing a thing. So watch Hump Day with Hampshire. Have some fun before we retire. Take a little break from the quagmire. It's Hump Day with Hampshire.